Hello, welcome to the Word Café podcast. This podcast has been designed with curated content that centers on the power of words. Can we really do anything without speaking? Can we really do anything without the agency of words? Yes, that is what this podcast is all about. And I am your host, Amakri Isobwe, your neighborhood word trader. I believe in the power of words, for it is the unit of creation. I trade in words to profit my world. All right, today I'm not going to scream like, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I just want to say it like that. Oh, so lovely, lovely. Each time I sit here to share beautiful thoughts with you, I'm so super excited. So how are you? Yeah, I'm alone in the studio today. And I know I've not done this for a while, sitting alone in the studio and recording my thoughts to share with you. But I think I have to resume that, and I know you're going to like it. Okay. When a new year, 2023, a lot of aspirations, prayers, desires. But I'm going to begin this today. I guess you're wondering, what are we going to talk about? I want to talk about service. And I'm going to tell you why as we make progress, on this discourse. I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about service. But I want to begin this by looking at how clouds are formed. I went back to my, what I call it, primary biology. Geography. How clouds are formed, and we have rains. Yeah, for those of us that did, you will understand that where you have the invisible water vapor in the air, it condenses into visible water droplets and ice crystals, But all of this happens as a result of interrelationships, the wind that blows on the ocean and drives that current, take that current into the land and what have you, and the cycle is formed. But there's something before it rains. Clouds gather. They gather, and before you know it, when it reaches the saturation point, begins to drop after coalescing, comes down as, we call it rain, precipitation. Beautiful. And sometimes it feels like that, for those of us within the space of I've been creating stuff. So you have this cloud hanging over your head, and you just want it to pour. You just want it to come down, like pouring and all of that. Beautiful. So recently, as part of what I do, part of my offerings is writing and also helping people to realize their book projects. You want to write a book? I do that. When I discovered that about myself, every day of my life, I come to appreciate the power of words. Yes. So recently, I got this client. I won't call her name, but I'm going to share the story. And she called me up, and she wants to write a book, her first book. And she's all about service. So we sat down, we got talking, and it's a beautiful challenge, I must tell you. I love it, taking up the challenge of creating, books out of words, thoughts. So in course of the, project, or working on the project, which I always do. I dwell on the topics of what you want to talk about. Try to interact with the topic. Try to get into the topic, not get into your head per se, but get into the topic and understand the topic, the why of the topic, and what have we. So in course of doing that, I dwelt on it for a while. It's about service. Basically, the book is about service, the pathway, to that promotion, acceleration, quote and unquote, glory. And I dwelt on it for a while. Service. Service. Why service? What's so special about service? And somehow it opened up to me. Service runs the world, and those who understand the art of serving drive the world. I take that again. That was how it opened up to me. Service runs the world, and those who understand the art of serving, they drive the world. When the word service comes up, wherever it comes up, a good number of us run away from it. We look at it as something demeaning, debasing, because we try to create a noun out of it. What's a noun? Servant. And when people hear the word servant, what comes first of all to their mind are, people who are less in terms of value, and as a result of that, they go wait on people, like they wait the table and all whatnot. But if you look at the word carefully, you will come to see that our world runs on the principle of service. Yes, the world we live in today runs on the principle of service. And those who provide these services, they drive the economy. They drive practically every sector. So when we view service as something subhuman, I think we're losing or missing out from the real essence of what it is. Yep. Now, in course of processing this thought too, on a Sunday, this particular Sunday, yes, in the midst of all of this, I was with my teenagers. It's part of what I do, work with teenagers, teach them and share and all that. We got talking about Daniel. Yes, Daniel in the Bible. And I came to realize, looking at the story of Daniel served 5 kings from scriptures. He served 5 kings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all of these kings were from different, should I say kingdoms, if you look at it, from the story of Nebuchadnezzar to name it, Belshazzar, Darius, and Cyrus, from Babylon to Persia, Medo-Persia. Somehow Alexander the Great also got to hear about Daniel, if you read about the history books. But this is where I'm coming from. How would a man, a human being, serve 5 kings? What did he carry? What did he possess? What did they see in him, in Daniel, that he outlived 5 kings? I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty now of the timelines, because if you look at the history books, Daniel, I think, lived up to 100 years, out of which 70 was spent in more or less captivity, so to say. He was taken from his homeland Israel as a king, as a slave. From scriptures, when you look at scriptures, you come to see that Daniel, was of the royal family. He was born a noble man, and he joined the services of his captors, so to say. And but he did this for 5 kings over 70 years. Now, the question I kept asking myself was, what did he have? What did he possess that he served 5? I kept going about that again. 5 kings. Simply put, Daniel discovered the position of true service. Because when you look at the life of Daniel and the things he did, the way the scripture described him, he was wise. He operated in the prophetic. He operated even in the scientific, because from the kings, when they summon their wise men and all that, upon investigation, you come to see that these wise men were actually men of science and what have you. So Daniel operated in this area. But this is where I'm going with this. He was a servant. He discovered the power of service, and he took that position of service and dispensing from what he had, that these kings could not deny Daniel's power of service. Yes, they couldn't deny it. Imagine the king that overthrew Nebuchadnezzar. How did he come to find out about Daniel? Maybe, just my thought, before they took over, each successive kings, they've come to hear about these Daniel within the courts of the king. So, service is such a beautiful thing, because it is like you discovering what you are made of, and out of the abundance of what you are made of, you take of it and you serve the world, and the world drink of your service, and they taste that thing from you, and it's like, this person is carrying such a fantastic gift that we need in solving our problems and all whatnot. Yes, service drives the world, and runs the world, and those who understand the art of service drive the world. Look at every man through history that has made one record or the other, impact or the other. They rode on the platform of service. Name them. Yes, they rode on the platform of service. Now, even Jesus, the greatest of all, in setting that example, he came to show his disciples the power of service. Yes, he was the king. He is the King of Kings. Yes, they saw all the wonderful things he was doing, but in teaching them what it means to serve, he had to wash their feet, more or less teaching them the position of service. Now, the true position of service is humility. Yes, humility. Now, look at every man who has made history, created one thing, automobile, discovered one thing or the other. They took the position of service. They rode on the platform of humility and service. True service runs on that. So, you are a king, or you desire to be the king, you must approach it from the perspective of service. Look at the life of Elon Musk, for example. Yes, I call his name because, the richest man present on earth. what is he really doing? He is serving the world from his gift. Yes, pushing the boundaries beyond what we know in the automobile, the energy sector, space exploration and all that. Has he made mistakes? Yes. Has he made impact? Of course. Undeniably, we all see it. But when you take a closer look of the position he has taken, it is the position of a servant. He is serving the world, discovering better ways of doing things, sitting down there, burning the oil, researching, asking questions, and yes, some mistakes here and there, but ultimately he comes up with a solution. Servants, or those who take the position of true service, always come up with true solutions. And again, if you look at it, they live and transcend so many timelines like Daniel did. The day of Daniel was corrupt. They had a lot of corruption there. But Daniel stood. He took a position. He did. He took a position, and that position he took set him apart. And what is that position? The position of truth, the position of righteousness, the position of identifying with his maker, his God, identifying with the God of Israel. And somehow he stood himself and his colleagues, his counterpart, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and for a period of 70 years that cut across different timelines of kingdoms and that ruled the world, Daniel was in the midst of all this, giving counsel, advising, and they could not resist the knowledge, the wisdom, the width. He displayed in 7. Wow. It's amazing, guys. 2023 and beyond. If you want to make impact, true impact, I think we should look at it from that standpoint of service. Take that position of service. That thing you have in you, those things, they've been in you and all that. You feel like the world needs to know, the world needs to hear, then you should take the position of a servant. You should take the position of service. The way to the throne within this atmosphere is through the path of service. And if you look at it, it is like saying the way up is to go down, because that is how we view service. Like, it's beneath me, it's underneath me, I can no. But the truth is, that is where grace, God's glory, God's provision, God's, how am I going to describe it now? His essence is revealed within the sphere or the space of service. And we just need to take that position. And the scripture says that he gives grace to the humble. Service takes the position of humility. Yep. So the pathway to the throne, the pathway to glory, the pathway to impact, the pathway to influence and affluence is service. When you serve, because no matter how much you desire and grow in that thing, if you are not serving, it will die. He who serves is the one who commands the power, is the one who displays the glory, is the one who displays the good things of life. You know how we do it on the show. This is the space where we come in to lean on one another's experience and forge a positive path. So as you walk into 2023, remember, service runs the world, and those who understand the art of serving drive the world. All right, now, gotta go till I come here again. Bye for now. Awesome time it has been with you on the Word Café podcast today. Thank you for being there. You can catch me up on my social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all at Amakri Isoboye. Also, you can get copies of my books, A Cocktail of Words, The Color of Words, and my HR notebook on Amazon and on Robin Heights online bookstores. You can also subscribe to my YouTube page at the same address. Yes, till we see you again. Bye for now.